Hi, I'm MrByZ, and I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but September wasn't the best month for me. I ended up having 2 weeks in the hospital with pancreatitis. Two different times I had to go in, and so I haven't had a lot of time to, number one, get out and see what's out there and review anything, and number two, just do anything. I've been pretty sick. So I'm finally getting back. I've had a box sitting on my table, I think for 2 or 3 weeks now, which... And although we've gotten past Triple Force Friday, it's a little crazy, but I have this lovely box from Pulse right here, which I already knew this is my HyperReal Darth Vader. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we're going to go ahead and check it out. So we'll go ahead and get this all opened up here. It's a box in a box. Oh, goody. Okay. Says the HyperReal Vader right there. I think these have started to actually hit stores now. I had ordered this through Pulse and it came earlier than I expected. Much earlier, but cool. I've been looking forward to this. I've heard a few people talk about it. I haven't had a good obviously have never looked at it. This is my first time opening it, so you see the front of the box. You can see he's in there a little bit, showing some poses and everything. How does this open? Oh, okay, looks like, oh, we've got a, I see, so it opens like this. You can see the figure here, we've got a base back, a whole bunch of hands right here. Looks like I need to open this up. Yeah. Darth Vader is definitely my favorite character. So anytime anything comes out Vader, it gets me excited. And you know, I've heard people describe this who've seen it in person as being like a miniaturized Hot Toys, the best Bendums ever, you know, things like that. So to hear things like that, makes me really want to check it out. And it's Vader. Something new as Vader. Like, if they had done this as Kylo Ren, I wouldn't be excited at all by it. So we have a little base here. The Darth Vader, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like they have gone with, I don't know what you want to call them, like paper ties, or they're no longer the plastic ties and stuff. Of course, as I've said in the previous video, there was the time when we had like, you know, 15, 20 of these things, but they were like those plastic twist ties that took forever to get off your toys. These are just little paper ones. If I use scissors, I could probably just cut them out, but they're actually pretty easy to take out here. Okay, I'm impatient. It's the same thing I used to do with those little metal plastic ones, as I'd go through and just take a pair of scissors, and cut them all. And then you'd try to pull your figure out, and there'd be that one you always missed, you know what I mean? Okay. Please handle your knives responsibly at home. I'm supposed to say that, right? Notice I cut away from myself. I'm sure somebody will point out that I did something wrong when holding a knife here or something, but you know, I was a Boy Scout a long time ago. My knife handling card hasn't had a notch in it in a long time, but still. I know I'm supposed to always cut away from myself. We all know we've cut ourselves with knives too. When I worked at Toys R Us, I cut myself all the time with a box knife. Got to a point where, you know, you cut yourself, it's like, oh, big deal. Alright, I think he's ready to come out now. He's got a good weight to him. Oh, there we go. Wow. Okay. This is supposed to be like an 8-inch scale, so I always think of it, this would be like a Amigo scale Darth Vader. Only it's far better looking than any Amigos I've ever seen. Oh, wow. Look at that. The limbs definitely move. I mean, they move like normal limbs. It seems like but they're very, I don't know how to put it. It's not slow. It's just like if you set a pose on this, it's gonna stick. Oh, here, take a look really close here. No. So you can look at the helmet really close here. See the detail on it. It looks very nice. Looking at the chest detail, he's got a cloth cape, cloth inner robe, and then this, it feels like there's an actual action figure underneath. Like I can feel in rotating the joints, you can feel like the clicks of the joint, but then there's this rubber around it so that you don't see any of the joints. You know, when I first heard about it, it did sound more like a bend up, like there's just a wire inside type of thing. But like the knees are bending just like they should here, and things are moving at the waist just like they should, but it's not like going every which way, like if I pulled out a bendum and then we did that. Yeah, this looks really nice. It's a really good figure. Let's see. His bottom of his other robe doesn't want to come down. Sorry, that's a great angle there, isn't there? Okay, so there. See if he stands up very well. He's got things for pegs on the bottom. That's interesting. A little. I want to make him stand on his own first, though, here. Well, he'll stand. He is standing completely by himself. Here, I'll get him in focus. So, yeah, it'll stand on its own. It's very hefty, which is nice. So then we've got all these arms here to look at. Oh, hands, sorry, not arms. It's always interesting when you pose a Vader, when you set up another Vader, you know, if you've watched the video of my collection, you know, I have a lot of Vaders. And, you know, I've got several Sideshow, Hot Toys, you know, lots of Japanese 6-inch, lots of different things. Whoa, what was that? Oh, cool. But, you know, you get a lot of the same poses. So we have the blast effects here for when he's blocking Han Solo's blaster shot. Interesting piece there. I'm assuming there's a hand that'll work with that. But, you know, so many of them, you either have him with his lightsaber out and you hold him with both hands on the lightsaber, or you have him hands on hips, you know, that kind of thing. It's constantly the same poses and everything. So I was trying to find something new. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take these and I'm just going to show you what each one looks like on him. Right now we have the, let me see, right hand has the fist. Left hand looks like to hold the saber. To pop these off, I didn't see any instructions. Hopefully I'm not breaking this. Looks like you just pull these. Okay. So there's what it looks like. It's a little metal joint underneath right there. So that's all it is. And actually, trying to pull it in front of the camera was hard. Once I got it off the camera, it came off really easily. So here is with the hand that you can attach the blast effect to. You see how that works. Kind of trying to pose him a little bit more so he'd be looking a little more like that, I guess. Like that. Looks pretty good. It's got a little spot in the hand, a little hole, so you can put the peg in there for that. So here's a look at the rest of the hands. It looks like we have a choking hand, which is always great for a Vader. This looks like a pointing hand. I like to think of this as like the all too easy type of thing, you know. Go to left hands, we have to hold, saber, whatever. Open hand. Again, we have a pointing hand for the left hand, and then a fist for the left hand. So I have to decide how I'm going to pose my Vader here. But give it some thought, and I'll be right back, and you'll get to see how I wanted to pose it. So I kind of like the idea of that all too easy pose, so that's kind of what I went to. I went the pointing left hand, holding lightsaber right hand. I looked up the scene in the movie to see how it works. I kind of positioned the cape and everything, how it kind of should be. I'll probably have this a little back a little bit. To give you an idea, so we have rubber on the arms. I think there's rubber on the chest here too. Yeah, underneath. The legs, and then the feet feel like they have rubber on them. There is a movable ankle joint in there, knee, hips, elbow, shoulder. The only kind of wrist joint is just how the arms plug into there. And of course, a head joint, slight back and forth and everything. I feel like there's a little bit in the chest and waist there. So it has many different joints. And I noticed, I think I've heard some people talking about that. If you notice on this, there are holes for pegs. And right here, there are pegs to use for those. I'm going to pull 2 of those out there. So you can have them to pose your figure. You can put those in the feet here. This is very similar to what they did with the titanium figures recently, those 40th anniversary titaniums, is that they had little foot pegs underneath there. So I thought, well, I should look right there. So I can have him stand here, maybe more of a closed stance like that. And then I can pose him pretty well for what I want. I have noticed on my shoulder armor, it's a little bit off, which makes that piece kind of stick out a little bit more, but kind of get the idea right there. It gets me the right pose. It's definitely a little different from the other Vaders I have, so he'll have a different pose. Get a little extra knee posing, I feel, here or something. Need something more. But it is fun to move and to move all the joints and everything. It's poses pretty well, and it stays really well. Those of you who've done high-end stuff like Hot Toys and Sideshow know a lot of that stuff stays really well, too. You don't have to really worry about it too much. There's a little more dramatic, but bringing his lightsaber a little bit down. Kind of like that. Well, it looks pretty good. Very nice piece. I'm very impressed with it. It's going to look great in my kind of my high-end Vader area. So I would recommend it. If you like Vader, if you like this stuff, if you just like your 3 3/4 inch, probably not for you, but otherwise, I think this is pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see when the Luke comes out next year, how that comes about, how they do with human faces. When we're just dealing with a mask, it's a lot easier to get a better sculpt down than when we have human faces. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helps you decide if this is worth it for you. I know it's a little on the expensive side, but you're still looking at what, 1/3 to 1/4 of a Hot Toys figure, so it's not too bad. It's a decent size. It's definitely much taller than a 6-inch figure, and but it's not as tall as a 12-inch figure. But I think it's pretty cool. I like it, and that's what I'm going to stick with.